Good day everyone. So let's continue to our discussion. So this is the part 2 of the entrepreneur for the lesson 1 and 2. So again, if we say entrepreneur, according to Investopedia, it is an individual who creates a new business bearing most of the risk and enjoying most of the rewards. So the process of setting up a business is known as entrepreneurship. So the entrepreneurship is commonly seen as an innovator, a source of new ideas, goods, services, and business or procedures. So in short, an entrepreneur is someone nga nagadevelop og isa ka enterprise around an innovation along with bearing the risk sa pag-abot sa iyahang success or to achieve the goal of the business or the entrepreneur's goal. So we have discussed yesterday the different types of entrepreneurs. Then we also discussed that the builder, the opportunist, innovator, and also the specialist. And then the 7 types of entrepreneurs based sa ilahang trabaho. So we have the home-based, the internet-based, lifestyle, high potential, social, venture capital, then franchise format. So dito natapos ato ang discussion. So today, we will be discussing the entrepreneurs type based sa ilahang different classification. So first, we have based on the type of business na pwede sudlan sa mga entrepreneur. So we have trading, manufacturing, and agricultural. So if we say trading entrepreneurs, this type of mga entrepreneur are concerns with trading activities. So he or she buys the finished product from the producers, or maliban sa producers, they can also buy finished product from the manufacturers and then proceeds to sell the same to consumers either directly ba or pwede sad sila muagi through a middleman. So unsa man ning mga middleman? For example, kanang mga retailer, mga wholesaler, or pwede sad sila mag-agi sa mga ahente. So in essence, a trading entrepreneur is also a middleman between the producer and the consumer. So again, ang example niya under sa trading entrepreneurs kay mga agents and wholesalers. Then we also have the manufacturer entrepreneurs. So this type of entrepreneur is concerned with the manufacturing of products katong ginakwaan ni trading. So the aim of manufacturer entrepreneurs is to use mga raw materials para makaproduce og mga finished goods or products. So they identify consumers' needs and then gamiton ang mga available resources and also mga technology para mo manufacture og mga produkto. For that scenario, kay ang ilahang mahatag na bagay sa ilahang mga clients, sa ilahang mga customer, or sa ilahang mga consumers, kay masatisfy ang mga needs atong mga people na ako ang nabanggit, the consumer, the clients, and the consumers. So example sa manufacturer entrepreneurs kay mga manufacturer of automobile kanang nagabuhat sa mga spare parts kay dili man na siya agad-agad good class na sa isa lang na ka location mapalit ang mga kailangan na gamit para magbuo og sakyanan. Kailangan nila muadto to any different manufacturer also to get the raw materials para mabuo ang isa ka sakyanan, and even computer accessories. And then we also have the agricultural entrepreneur. So if we say agricultural, ang agricultural entrepreneur man good is one who concentrates on agricultural na activities. So these entrepreneurs concentrate on activities like raising agricultural production, marketing sa ilahang mga fertilizers, sa irrigation ba, sa cultivation ba, mga agricultural na technology, even kanang mga machines na ginagamit sa agriculture, to the marketing of the farm produce. And then we also have here types of entrepreneurs based on the use of technology. So we have two types, the technical and the non-technical. Plus, if we say technical entrepreneur, this is one who concentrates more on production activities. He have got a sound on technical knowledge and demonstrate his innovative na capability. Ang technical entrepreneur, he is also known as technocrat. Then we also have the non-technical entrepreneur. So if we say non-technical, these people concentrates more on marketing na activity. If the technical focuses on using his technical knowledge, the non-technical uses the or concentrates more on the marketing aspect. So he tries to find out new strategies for marketing their goods. He also promotes his business by employing different marketing methods. Then we also have the based on ownership na type of entrepreneurs. So we have here the private entrepreneur. So this type of entrepreneur is one who sets up a business venture eventually, and as such ang iyahang role is a sole owner, or sa business na aspect, kay ang tawag ani sila kay mga sole proprietorship. So kaning sa private entrepreneur, he is the sole owner of the venture and consequently bears all the risks that are involved with the business. So private entrepreneurs are self-employed and they can make any business decision without consulting to other people. So makadesisyon siya og iyahang own sa iyahang business. Then we also have the state entrepreneur. So as the name suggests, this is the type where the industrial or trading venture is done by government or state. So public entrepreneurs are also known as state entrepreneurs, and they work on behalf of the state or the government. All the businesses under state entrepreneurship are owned by the state. So they also have different center of command and well-outlined na procedures na ginapollow. And then we also have the joint entrepreneurs. So it exists in the form of joint entrepreneurship, and it involves both the private entrepreneurs and state. Such arrangements, class, are made in an effort to combine the capital, ang mga technology, and even human resource while undertaking mga dagko nga proyekto. So, kaning joint entrepreneurship is common siya in government projects and also intervention initiatives in areas of transport, sa manufacturing, sa healthcare, and also sa mining. Then another type of entrepreneurship is based on gender. So we have men entrepreneurs and women entrepreneurs. So sa men entrepreneurs, these are male people who own, control, invest, and manage businesses. Then we also have women entrepreneurs. So these are defined as business controlled and owned by women, as what the name said, no? Women entrepreneurs. At least 51% of employment opportunities generated in these businesses are given to women. And then we also have based on the size of enterprise. Plus, we have here the small scale entrepreneur. So if we say small scale, an entrepreneur who has invested in plant and machinery from 3 million hanggang 15 million pataas is called a small-scale entrepreneur. So, ang kaning mga small business entrepreneurship is the idea of opening a business without turning it into a large conglomerate or opening many chains. So, kaning small business entrepreneur manggod has a single location. For example, kanang mga restaurant or mga one grocery shop or a retail shop to sell your handmade goods would all be an example of small business entrepreneurship. So these individuals usually invest their own money and succeed if their business turns a profit which they live off. So they don't have outside na mga investors and will only take a loan if it helps to continue their businesses. Then we also have the medium scale entrepreneur. So the entrepreneur who has invested in plant and machinery above 15 million pesos up to 100 million pesos is called a medium scale entrepreneur. So these are companies that start with a unique idea. For example, kanang sa Silicon Valley. So the hopes are to innovate with a unique product or mga services and continue growing the company. So these are companies class that start with a unique idea. So it continuously scaling up as time move on. So, keep on growing lang jud ni siya nga business. So, this type of companies often require mga inventors and even large amount of capital para mo grow ang ilahang idea and reach multiple markets. Then we also have the large scale entrepreneur. So the entrepreneur invested in plant and machinery more than 100 million pesos. It is called a large scale entrepreneur pag mulampas na siya og 100 million pesos. So large company entrepreneurship is a new business division created within an existing company. So the existing company may be well placed to branch out into other sectors or it may be well placed to become involved sa bag-o nga mga technology. CEOs of these companies either foresee a new market for the company or individuals. Ayan. Then we also have the classification of Clarence Danhoff na types of entrepreneurs. So Clarence Danhoff conducted a study on American agriculture and mga key stakeholder in this sector. So based on his study, he was able to classify entrepreneurs into 4 categories. So first, we have the innovative entrepreneurs. So these innovative entrepreneurs have creative na minds and they are passionate about creating a new products or service. So this type of people are the type of dynamic and they look out for unique and creative na mga strategies that can help them come up with a completely new product or service in the market. Then they also invest most of their investment in research and development or the R&D na department. So as to come up with new refined designs and ideas. Then we also have the the imitative entrepreneurs. So these imitative entrepreneurs are dynamic and they adapt new na disruptions in the market created by the innovative na entrepreneurs. Most of the imitative na entrepreneurs class tend to imitate the technologies and even mga techniques used by the market leaders. So they are mostly found in growing economies, and they imitate and customize different product design and technologies para lang mo fit in sa ilahang target market. Another term for imitative entrepreneurs is adaptive entrepreneurs. Then we also have the Fabian entrepreneurs. So Fabian entrepreneurs are those who only adapt to new changes in the market when they realize that they have no other option, and failure to do so will result in business losses. Ang isa ka Fabian entrepreneur mga good class has no personal desire to bring change unless na lang they are forced by the situation or circumstances that they face. Then they are also very slow to adopt new strategies in their daily business operation because they prefer to stick to their old traditions. So, the Fabian entrepreneurs are traditionalist type of entrepreneurs. Then we have the drone entrepreneurs. If we say drone entrepreneurs, it is an old school type of an entrepreneur who stick to his traditional style also. The same with the Fabian entrepreneur. But at least si Fabian, they do make changes if i-force jud sila sa ilahang circumstances. Then the drone entrepreneurs stick to his traditional style of doing things even when there is imminent market disruption. So dili jud sila mo adjust even though gina naana sa point na gina-push na sila sa ilahang circumstances na needed na jud nila mo magkaroon og changes kay kung kuan o kung dili pa sila mo adapt for changes, then it will result to failure. Then, this type of entrepreneurs, mga good class, are at a higher risk of suffering huge losses due to their conventional ways of doing business. Since change is inevitable, no, sa tua, and drone entrepreneurs resist to change, they are pushed out of the market in most cases due to stiff competition and perennial losses. And then we have the based on the classification from Arthur H. Cole. Arthur H. Cole classifies entrepreneurs as empirical, rational, and cognitive entrepreneur. So if we say empirical, this type of entrepreneur is hardly introduces anything na revolutionary and follow the principle of rule of thumb. Ma'am, unsa maning rule of thumb? If we say rule of thumb, this is an idiom, no? So it is a principle that is kept to, or another meaning for rule of thumb, a guide that is based na on our practice rather than theory. Yung mga napagdaanan natin kaysa sa by the book. So, a general principle that comes through experience and not any scientific means. Or, another meaning for rule of thumb is a practical and approximate way. So, example, aning rule of thumb, for example, as a rule of thumb, I do not start a new project on Fridays. Another example is a good rule of thumb is to add the ingredients, no, when the water starts to boil. So that is an example sentence of a rule of thumb. Then we also have the rational entrepreneur. So the rational entrepreneur is well informed about the general economic conditions and introduces changes which look more revolutionary. And lastly, we have the cognitive. So cognitive entrepreneur is well informed, draws upon the advice and services of experts, and they also introduces changes that reflect complete break from the existing scheme of their enterprises. And then we have the resources for entrepreneurs. So we have two resources for entrepreneurs. We have the crowdfunding and the bootstrapping. So if we say crowdfunding class, an entrepreneur creates a page for their product and a monetary goal to reach while promising certain givebacks to those who donate, such as products or experience. Some donate cash. Then this crowdfunding is a way of raising money not to finance projects and businesses. It enables also to it enables fundraisers to collect money from a large number of people via online platforms. So crowdfunding is most often used by startup companies or even mga growing business as a way of accessing alternative na fund nila. It is an innovative way of sourcing funding for new projects, mga businesses, or ideas. It can also be a way of cultivating a community around your offering. So, this is by using the power of the online community. You can also gain useful market insights and also access to your new customers. So this guide is aimed at entrepreneurs, mga business people, mga companies, especially small and medium enterprises. So if you are thinking about ways of financing a new business or idea or have heard about crowdfunding and want to learn more, there are a lot of useful guidelines on the internet on how to do the crowdfunding. So a great example was the National Domestic Violence Hotline. They were seeking to expand awareness of violence against women. Since the Violence Against Women Act was passed in 1994, they have responded to over 3.5 million na mga tawag. However, class, the challenge here is making others relate as best as possible para magkaroon og increase sa mga help donations. So the National Domestic Violence Hotline raised almost $53,000 in just 6 weeks sa ilahang operation. So nagkaroon din sila og pondo na 53,000 for just 6 weeks. Then we also have the bootstrapping refers to building a company solely from your savings as an entrepreneur and the initial sales made from your business. So example, Kay wanted to start a small business by having a limited na resources. After careful consideration, class, she decided that bootstrapping was her best option for starting a business. So bootstrapping here is the utilization of limited resources to grow or start a business. It entails finding ways to efficiently utilize limited resources to lessen the impact of not having access to formal or external resources. And kadalasan, small business owners are unable to obtain financing from formal sources such as bank financing. So, kaning mga small businesses owners are forced to utilize the resources that they have to finance their business. So, bootstrapping here, class, is referred to as an informal or creative source of financing our business. Then, we have the advantages and disadvantages of entrepreneur. Class, entrepreneurship comes with lots of perks and also, dili lang perks, dili lang always positive, it also have challenges. As you deduce a game plan to climb up the ladder, being an entrepreneur means being the leader, employee, investor, and even manager of your own startup na business. There are many responsibilities at hand with a limited na number of team members. So, here are some noteworthy na advantages and disadvantages of being an entrepreneur. So, I will summarize all of this list of the advantages first. So, first that we can have or the advantage on entrepreneur is freedom. There is no denying that one of the best parts of being an entrepreneur is the complete freedom that you have to do your own thing sa imuhang business. No more bosses to report to or even managers peering over your shoulder. Now, class, you have gone from the bottom all the way to the top. So you are the boss. Then, another advantage of entrepreneurship is flexibility. And with all the extra responsibility comes flexibility. Daghan kitag responsibilidad if we are an entrepreneurs. So with the heavy responsibility that we have, kailangan jud nato i-apply ang flexibility. Many people are excited to work for themselves because it means they can work when they want and also where they want. Your commute could be as simple as walking na lang to the couch or even taking a stroll to the local coffee shop. Muna na siya tong buhaton. Then we also have control. Many budding entrepreneurs value control. Getting your own venture off the ground requires heavy lifting, but at the end of the day, it is your dream and you are in control of making it happen. So having influence over the direction of the company is one of the most exciting parts of being an entrepreneur. And lastly is the profits. Instead of making others richer, now your profits can slide right into your own pocket. This means each business success becomes your success. And as your business grows, so does your potential income. So this can be incredibly motivating for many new entrepreneurs on the path to success. Then, next is the list of disadvantages. Kaya dili lang man pud ta tanan puro advantages. Entrepreneurship also have disadvantages. First advantage ani niya class is the responsibility na aspect. Not only is the future of your business is in your hands, but also your next paycheck. Moving away from a salary job to an unstable na income is very hard. There is great sacrifice that comes from starting your own business. And while the payoff may be worth it, carrying the weight of responsibility can be difficult at first. Yung mahirap na part kasi class, sa una lang yan. Then eventually, if planchado na lahat ng mga kailangan gawin for the business or flowing na yung mga gagawin sa business, then eventually, luluwag din naman yung bagay-bagay. Then, pangalawa is the risk. As the business owner, you will take on much of the risk associated with starting a new venture. This means, instead of your employer taking the fall, you are often risking your savings. Maliban sa savings class, ginarisk sa ninyo ang inyong time, ang inyong effort to get your business off the ground. Then pangatlo, we have the workload. It takes serious hustle to get a new business up and running. And for the most part, you will be doing all the grunt work, especially in the early stages. All the heavy lifting can be hard for one person to manage. While it can be an exciting time full of possibility, it can also be exhausting. Then lastly is the limitations. The idea of running your business class can be very different sa realidad. From late nights to lonely weekends, being entrepreneur is not without its challenges. You can also find it quite limiting in the early stages, without the funding of a big name or even well-established business behind you. If ka nang literal na from scratch jud ang inyong business. So class, the advantages and disadvantages of entrepreneurship and free enterprise involve new path to achieve your full potential. Instead of chasing a promotion or partnership, you get to pursue your dreams every day. Even though kana siya nga experience is stressful for many and lonely for some, most entrepreneurs also say that their jobs are extremely rewarding. If you are thinking about a change in life, then give entrepreneurship a closer look. You might like what you discover. And to end our discussion for week 1 and week 2, so the advantages and disadvantages of entrepreneurship: create the potential to live the life you want. Even if it takes several years, kay dili man ko inigtukod mo sa imuhang business karon kay pagkaugma kay dato na ka. So, even if it takes several years to start earning the profits you want, it can be a happy life waiting for you. So, thank you so much for listening to our discussion. So, if you have questions and clarifications, you may start asking. So, thank you so much and God bless you, everyone.